Welcome to another episode of Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. Here's your host, Russ McClellan.
Hey, welcome to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. Today I'm excited. I got Fletcher Ellingson. How you doing, Fletcher?
Excellent, thanks.
Yeah, we're every show in the month of March, which is the great month of my birthday. So, Fletcher, would you please acknowledge me that my birthday is on St. Patrick's Day, and I have the luck of the Irish?
It's going to be a lucky day.
Lucky day. Lucky Charms were my favorite cereal growing up for obvious reasons. No, what I thought we could do today, Fletch, you've been coaching a lot of our agents. You've been gracious and coming from that place of abundance and contribution. You've actually volunteered to give 3 sessions to every student, which we have over 50 people in a free real estate school called K-Score. And so when they come out of that, they now have a license to make money, but they don't really know a lot about real estate. Like most things, you learn definitions, you learn certain terms, but until you kind of get into the training and the coaching at our company, that's how you learn how to make money, how to help people buy and sell real estate, et cetera. And it's so difficult if the mindset is not open to that. And so I just would love, you and I have coached together for over a year, I think 14 months or so. Coached my fiance, coached my business partner, Luke and Sydney, Lisa and Brian Boyle. And then we had group coaching for a long time with many, many agents at our firm. And I think you're in large part acknowledge you for that, right? Because without that piece, we're always in resistance to change. And I'm trying to change some things, right? I'm trying to create abundance in real estate. With the prices of everything going up, I think real estate is a great vehicle for people to get into as a business, whether they're just a referring agent, meaning you keep your day job and you refer somebody to one of our full-time agents and you would make 25% of that commission. You can imagine, $500,000 house, 3%, that's $15,000. You make 25% of that for 5 minutes worth of work. That might help you buy those AAU basketball shoes I always talk about, right?
Yeah.
And then there's part-time agents that are going to work into full-time. And then there's the people like my man JP, producer extraordinaire, now real estate broker full-time, that make that transition. And I think when you have an ever-changing market like we do, where more and more money's coming from the west side of the Cascade Mountains, real estate is going to help some people. So I look at the abundance, meaning I believe there's room for a lot of realtors, a lot of talented realtors. And one of the reasons is, Fletcher, is that 80% of the work is done by 20% of the people. It shouldn't be that way. I think there's a lot of reasons for that, but my goal is to break that mold and share the wealth, right? That's Keller Williams' model. We're a high-volume, low-margin, profit-sharing company for agents by agents. So with all that being said, I would love to hear some of the stories without the names, but that you've seen actual change of mindset and how mindset shifts have helped people that are specific to real estate.
Absolutely. The key word that you mentioned just a couple minutes ago was resistance. If you are a human, man, humans got a lot of resistance. We got bags full of it, and we carry it around with us everywhere we go. It's amazing we can get through doors because the large amount of resistance that we have is just staggering. And that trips us up. That prevents us from moving forward powerfully, despite our best intentions, right? We just don't realize how much resistance affects us. Case in point, one of my clients here in the Valley had a particular client she wanted to reach out to. They weren't a client yet, but wanted to reach out to them and had a lot of resistance. And that resistance was in the form of fear of rejection, fear of bothering the person. Don't want to hassle them. Don't want to come off pushy, right? They don't really know me. And so this person was arguing for their limitations. They were giving me all the reasons why they shouldn't pick up the phone and call this person. So after 1 hour coaching session, we got through and took a look at her fear. And we changed the story up from, I'm going to be bothering to them, I'm actually doing them a favor. We changed up the story. Like they would be happy to hear from me. I would be in an opportunity to help them. They don't know it yet, but we're going to have a great time, right? We changed the story completely. And here's what literally happened. After we got off the phone, she had committed to calling that individual. They set up a meeting as a result of that. She got the listing. It was like a $1.2 million listing. And she eventually sold that listing. And so that 1 hour conversation was worth, after commission split, about $35,000. That's what's possible.
Yeah, it's interesting. Often we will tell people to just do this. Just call them. You are a real estate broker, right? You do have to talk to people, right? And it's kind of a negative, like arrogance when we coach like that. It kind of makes people feel belittled. Mm-hmm. Because when you really say it, like I make this statement a lot. JP's been hearing me say it more than once, that water to scuba divers is a lot like lead generation to realtors. Like it's hard to be a scuba diver without getting wet.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a realtor without lead generating. Mm-hmm. But how many people lead generate? Like not very many, at least consistently. And so then it's like, okay, well, when I make that statement, I often think, well, is that just being an arrogant jerk? Because it's like saying 2 + 2 is 4, but then the person goes, yeah, but I'm scared the hell out of 4.
Yeah.
I hate that number. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't even know why I hate the number, because it sounds like it's easy. But I'm afraid of rejection. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of success. I'm afraid of looking silly. I'm afraid of not knowing something if they ask me. And then when you break through some of those things and you realize that people just like you to be yourself.
Yeah.
If you could just be yourself, you're a good person.
Yep.
And you're trying to help them.
Yes.
But why is it so hard?
Again, comes back to because we're simply not practiced at it. We are not practiced at it. We're practiced at the opposite of that, like not reaching out, so what's the opposite of that? Keeping to ourselves, playing it safe.
Secret agent, James Bond style.
Yes, yeah, the secret agent.
It's hard to make money if you don't tell somebody.
Exactly.
But it's so obvious, and yet it's such a crazy thing that when you look at the game of real estate across the board, that nobody talks mindset first.
Right.
I don't hear it anyway. I mean, our company at Keller Williams actually, I think I sent you some links. They've shifted from tactics and strategies to happiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happiness is a big conversation piece right now.
Yep.
Because, there's a lot of very wealthy people that are very unhappy.
Yeah.
And getting divorced and right? Like there's a lot of side effects that I'm seeing mentally, emotionally from the last 2 years. And people are just kind of waking up. I mean, they're calling it the great resignation of 2022. People are just quitting their jobs.
Yeah.
Because they're just miserable. They just realized it.
Mm-hmm.
They've been miserable for a long time, but they're like, 2 years of this has given me time to think about it. Yeah, that job sucks.
Right.
Right. So all of a sudden I can do a lot of things. So to me, what do you think about that? What do you think about this time and focusing on the simplest thing of just, hey, are you happy?
Yeah.
And if you're not, what do we do about it?
Right. I think there's so much value in that. And so another person that I was coaching here in Wenatchee, great individual, already doing quite well in real estate, but stressed out, like unhappy, like not connecting with family, not connecting with herself, because she's so stressed out about her business, which, by the way, was going really well. So you got this, by looking at it from the outside, you think like, oh, she's got it going on, really successful, but not happy. And so one of the biggest returns that she got from the coaching was she's now doing her job with a wonderful sense of ease and joy. Like she's still, and even in her testimony, she says, my business blew up and I wasn't even trying to grow it. Because, Russ, check me on this. When you have access to progress, isn't it usually at a time when you're feeling happy, when you're feeling fulfilled, right? You're not, because when we're feeling happy and feeling fulfilled, we have access to progress. We're not stuck in the procrastination game, right?
Absolutely.
We're dialed in. We're focused. We're in that magical moment called flow, where things seem to be happening with ease, right?
Yeah, it's true. And the momentum of that, when you're in that scarcity mindset, like you need to have the money. I see it in realtors a lot, that our business is interesting, that what our actions, how they work, is whatever you do today shows up 60 to 90 days from now. Right. So all of a sudden, I see it this time of year. February is usually one of the most difficult months for a couple of reasons. One is the weather. You know, the sunny day we have now is not always the case. So it's darker, it gets dark at 4 o'clock, you know, all that. But also the credit card hangover from Christmas, Thanksgiving, giving, so much work. And then you take all that time off, and then in a commission-based game, you're now out of money, and now you're panicking. And then you're not available for anything. Like you're now just, everybody senses it. And it seems funny when you don't need it is when the easy money comes.
Yeah.
So to speak, right?
Yep.
Like things just seem to fall into place, to your point, when there's less resistance, yet we're the ones often coming from that place of suffering and scarcity, that we create the resistance that people can just smell.
Yeah.
I mean, like they see you and they're like, and then we start, you know, as salespeople, we start hammering, buy that dang house, I need the money.
Right.
It's not the right way, right? It's interesting. So when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about that and some examples of how, like real life things, how do we help people?
Keller Williams, you make dreams come true. Oh, sweet home. Oh, sweet home.
Hey, this is Russ McClellan with Keller Williams. I want to talk to you about something. Do you feel stuck? Do you feel the financial pressures of the COVID virus? That was fun, wasn't it? I'll tell you what, real estate can be a game changer for you, and I'm here to help you. If you want to give me a call at 509-888-0038, I want to talk about your life and getting unstuck. We are growing rapidly. We're the fastest growing real estate company in all of North Central Washington. Give us a call. I want to help you. 509-888-0038.
With the new Keller Williams School of Real Estate, you can now get your license for free. Access tools, tips, and personalized coaching with Keller Williams award-winning training programs, and start off your career in real estate the right way. K-Score is 100% online and entirely free to students, with pre-licensing curriculum geared toward placing aspiring agents on a direct path to licensure and profitability. With K-Score, we're not just unlocking the door, we're opening every door to anyone that's ever dreamed of starting their career in real estate. We're making a difference for you so that you can make a difference for others. Now available for all individuals in Washington. Your future awaits. Enroll today.
We're excited. We got a lot of people signing up, so give us a call, 509-888-0038, or simply email us at joinus@kwncw.com. Let's go from being stuck to unstuck.
You're listening to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and friends. And here's Russ.
Hey, welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and friends. And today, all month, we got Fletcher Ellingson. Hi, Fletcher.
Hello, hello.
Fletcher is a ninja, mindset ninja. The Obi-Wan Kenobi of real estate mindset coaches for Star Wars fans out there. I know this because I've coached with him for over a year, and I've known him for, I don't even know how many years.
Many.
2+ decades or something. We were just talking about something that's interesting. When I coach agents, Fletcher, every once in a while, I'll tell them something, and then instinctually they will tell me why that won't work. I mean, and sometimes this is people that have been in the business, like 37 minutes. Right?
Yes.
And so they're going to tell me how something doesn't work. And then we kind of unpack it, coach through it, and then they're like, oh, okay. And then I'm often like, what? Where did that come from? But it's resistance, right?
Yeah. And so there's lots of different kinds of resistance. There's resistance shows up as fear. Resistance shows up as overwhelm. Resistance shows up as procrastination. Resistance shows up as defensiveness, right? We are, and again, you'll hear me say it over and over, but it comes down to practice, practice, practice. We are so practiced at resistance. But here's what resistance is at the core. Resistance is you experience resistance when the story that you have is not in alignment with the outcomes that you want. So you want to be this amazing real estate professional, right? You want to go out there and get listings, but you're practiced at finding reasons why it won't work. And so that resistance is it's not in alignment, right? The reasons or the excuses that you're coming up with are not in alignment with your outcome. That is resistance. When your thoughts are in alignment with the outcomes, that's called flow.
What do you do for people that have had this programming kind of negative? They grew up kind of being told they can't do something. Maybe their spouse is like, yeah, you can try that real estate game, but if it don't work out, like, you're going to have to get a real job.
Yeah.
And, and just the dream crusher on their behalf because they care about them. Mm-hmm. What are some of the basics that you can tell someone that are, like, if try to imagine somebody in a household right now that really wants to try being self-employed, really wants to lean into a free school, really thinks they're good with people and they love to help people and they like the idea of that, but they have limiting beliefs.
Yeah. So the most powerful thing that they can do, besides getting around people who are already doing it, because we're like the sum of the 5 people we hang out with the most, right? So get around people who are already doing it and have the results you want. But the other thing is create a massively empowering, inspiring story. Like just like sit down with your cup of coffee or whatever, put some music on, and just write for 15, 20 minutes your ideal story of how it's going to work out for you. Now, once you've done that, that's not going to be the game changer. The game changer is when we read that every single day, maybe sometimes multiple times a day, but we read it like in the first thing in the morning, last thing before I go to bed. We're programming our brain with an empowering story because, as you know, Russ, whatever you focus on, you feel. So like when we go to that movie theater, we sit down with our popcorn and our soda and we're excited. We're going to watch this movie and the lights come on and it's projecting that onto the screen. And 10 minutes into the movie, we might be laughing and having a good time. And then another 20 minutes later, we're crying, choking back tears. And then another 10 minutes, we're laughing again. And then we're on the edge of our seat. And you realize that I've just gone through all this roller coaster of emotions. And all that's happening is I'm watching light on that's being projected on a screen. It's not even real. But my brain cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's not real. And it creates an emotion, and an emotion is simply a chemical reaction in the brain. So what if you took that same premise and did it in your home? You create the movie that you can watch in your mind every day about this empowering and inspiring and free way of living. You do that over and over and over again. Your mind can't tell the difference. And then once you've done it enough, now it remembers it like it already happened. So your mind actually thinks, all this stuff, I already know. Oh, I've seen this movie before. We already know how this happened, how this ends. And you get the same emotional experience. And now you've got you're stepping into that place of flow.
Yeah, I think when you're focusing on what you can control, if you have a household that's not giving you the support that you think you deserve or that you need or want, then focus on what you can do. Like the proof is in the pudding. Like sometimes find those minutes to get it done, especially with a free real estate school because it's online. So I know people that are doing it right now, and I don't know if they've told anybody. They're just doing it, right? And when you calendar your time, it's funny that somebody said this I said this in class today, but somebody told it to me not that long ago. They said, if I looked at your calendar, like for a week, would I be able to tell what you do for a living?
Good question, huh?
Because if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. And that's a bold law that we use where basically we're trying to get people to time block their goal setting and focus on the practice, not the, if you want to climb Mount Everest, if you can focus on it, but you probably need to at least start hiking to the mailbox and back. first,
Right,
right?
right.
Might not get there day one. And that's the funny thing about real estate. You see some people in our company that are millionaires already in 3 years. And you're like, now, not everybody's crazy mutants. I mean, we all have different speeds, but it's a business that you get rewarded. And to watch people, it's so rewarding for me is to, to start with this vision and to see people's lives really change, that just start believing in the basics. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
It might seem complicated, and it's not like super, super easy, but it is pretty simple. You just got to show up one step at a time, and there's going to be everybody in the world telling you not to do it.
Yep.
It's weird that the herd just does not like the outlier.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wait a minute. You want to better yourself?
Right.
I'm going to acknowledge you for like being greedy. I don't want you to be happy.
Yeah.
Why would you? That's not fair. You get to be happy. I'm miserable.
Right.
I mean, when you turn around on some of the stuff that people say to each other and the judgment, especially from the bleacher seats, it's like, man, they should read Men in the Arena, right?
Yep.
Teddy
Yeah, you
Roosevelt
got it.
quote.
Yep, exactly.
So what do you think about that? What would you do as far as encouraging or acknowledging people for the courage to change?
Oh man, that's we love the courageous hero in the movie, right? We love we want to stand up and cheer when that underdog, pulls through and does and goes through his fear and does this courageous act, right? We love that. So champion the people in your life that are doing that. Get around people who seem to walk through their fears and step into courage. Get around those people. Ask them how they're doing it. One of my clients just had the best year of his career, and when I asked him, like, what made the difference for you? You've been doing this for a while. What made the difference? He said, mindset. I mean, he literally said, it's been shifting my mindset, and now this guy totally owns the territory that he's in. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, Michael and Melody have been with me a while, the M&M team, Michael and Melody Shipley, and they don't mind me saying this, so I'm going to say it. They had a team where Michael would do certain things and Melody would do certain things, combining strengths to achieve the common goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Well, one day we had a class about this 6 personal perspectives recently, which is mindset work, and Melody wasn't here. So Michael had to take the class without her. And that put him in a very uncomfortable position because he was always the one that did X and she always did Y, and this classroom stuff and this taking notes stuff and this idea that I had to think about stuff wasn't his forte. What was really cool about this story is that Melody called me after the class and said, I don't know what happened there, but something got through to him and all of a sudden things were in alignment. Now they've been with me 2 or 3 years and now they're just operating on a different frequency of can do, right? Where before it was, they were like dividing and conquering, but now it's like that flow that you're talking about, where now they're combining the flow, not just the strengths.
I love it.
And there's a difference there.
Yeah.
The energy versus the tactics.
Yeah.
Or the strategies or the activities. So then the mindset's connected as a team or a couple. And so what was really, I was recruiting somebody wants to be a real estate broker, and they were at the table next to us, and they got done, and I said, hey, would you guys come over here for a minute? They're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden Michael just took over and was like mindset coaching, and that really wasn't that was always Melody. I'm looking at Melody and I'm like, oh my God, that's great.
That's awesome.
And the other person's like, yeah, he's not lying to me? And I'm like, no, he's not lying to you. He'll do it, right? Like,
I love it.
because that's half of it. We're so practiced at not trusting.
Yeah. Well, that's a real testament to your leadership as well. And I was talking with somebody, I won't mention their name, you would know them. They were talking about you, and they said, Russ is really doing some cool stuff in this brokerage with mindset. Like he said, it's making a difference in the culture. So that's some good feedback for you.
That's great to hear, Fletcher. I mean, the idea is that it doesn't come instantly, though. It's every day you got to bring it and just bring it and just bring it. And I just believe it so much that with the right mindset, we're very lucky. I'm very grateful to live in America. I'm very grateful to live in a beautiful place that people want to move to. There's challenges, but people need people to help them. So it's good to hear. We'll be right back with one more segment with Fletcher Ellingson, the Obi-Wan Kenobi of Mindset Coaching.
Williams. You make dreams come true. Home sweet home. Home sweet home. Your home.
With the new Keller Williams School of Real Estate, you can now get your license for free. Access tools, tips, and personalized coaching with Keller Williams award-winning training programs and start off your career in real estate the right way. K-Score is 100% online and entirely free to students, with pre-licensing curriculum geared toward placing aspiring agents on a direct path to licensure and profitability. With K-Score, we're not just unlocking the door, we're opening every door to anyone that's ever dreamed of starting their career in real estate. We're making a difference for you so that you can make a difference for others. Now available for all individuals in Washington. Your future awaits. Enroll today.
We're excited. We got a lot of people signing up, so give us a call, 509-888-0038, or simply email us at joinus@kWNCW.com. Let's go from being stuck to unstuck. Hi, this is Russ McClellan, designated broker and operating partner of Keller Williams Realty NCW. You know, we have almost 70 agents and growing rapidly. We're almost a legit company now with over 2.5 years experience. The good news is this: if you're thinking about changing your life, my goal and my mission to you is to help you transform the life that you deserve and that you want, using real estate as the vehicle to do that. What does that mean? Well, it means whatever you want it to mean. If you want to work part-time, I'll show you how to do it. If you want to work full-time, I'll show you how to do it. And I'm also willing to show and demonstrate our commitment to you and our conviction to our company and transparency by giving you any of the numbers of any of the 70 people that work at Keller Williams. We're a family, we care about each other, and we care about you. So if you want to change your life, you want to get into real estate and have some fun, let's get together and talk. 509-888-0038. Give me a call anytime. You can also call my cell phone at 509-470-2416.
You're tuned to Russ McClellan and Friends on the Real Estate Show, Home Sweet Home. Let's get back to Russ.
Hey, welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. Hey, I got Fletcher Ellingson. We've been talking mindset, acknowledgement, appreciation. Fletcher, we've been talking some examples, like real life stuff that you've seen, and as you reflect on some of the work and how you've grown as a coach. I remember it wasn't that long ago where you just started. I mean,
That's right.
Years now, but it seems, because I've known you so long, it's like you had a reckoning or awakening, and you was like, this is what I'm doing.
Yep.
And look at you now.
Yep. I took the leap, decided to do it full time, and it's been awesome.
Well, acknowledge you for that courage, because you've changed a lot of lives. I love hearing the stories, even without the names, of people and some of their feedback of appreciation for you.
Yeah. Well, I got another story for you. This is a couple agents that I've been working with, and this is several years ago, but they came to me and said, you know, we're selling a lot of high-end homes. They're about in that 800 to 1.5. We really want to break out of that. We'd like to be selling homes that are in the 2, 3, and 4 million. That's a big jump, right? I mean, that's a big price jump. And they're like, not just once in a while. We'd like to have that be our regular, right? And so I said, well, let's talk about your belief around that. Do you think that's possible? And they said, well, we know it's possible. We see other people doing it. It's great. It's powerful to look and notice what other people are doing. The fact that other people are doing it means it's more probable that you can do it. In fact, they're making it easier for you because they've already paved the way. And they're like, yeah. But I said, but do you believe that you can do it? And they hesitated, and they're like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that we can do it. And so I said, well, so you can see that there's a level of resistance there. It's not going to happen until you're holding that space for it to actually happen. So I said, your homework is just to hold the space, hold that idea that and envision yourself doing it. Selling those, writing up those contracts for multi-million-dollar homes, seeing the closing, seeing the paycheck coming into you. And no kidding, it started happening. It was just one. I got the call, and I love getting these emails and calls from my clients. They're like, they usually start out this way: Fletcher, you're never going to believe what just happened, right? And so I love getting those. And they had it was a $2 million home, and then they had a $3 million home, and then there was a $4 million home, another $3. I mean, so they were just beginning to trickle in, and then they were ecstatic, and they called me up, Fletcher, we just listed a home for $14 million, and I was just like, well, congratulations. I mean, that was wonderful. I want to tell you how it happened. This client was driving his car down the road, and he had seen this jogger on a regular basis, and they'd wave, and he just, because he's friendly, he just wave at people, and he waved at the person. Been doing it for weeks. One day, he pulled over and rolled down his window, and motioned for her to come over, and she said, "Hey," he said, like, "Hey, we've been waving at each other for a while now. I just wanted to introduce myself." And he gave her his business card and said, "This is what I do. I love seeing you out here running in the mornings. I just wanted to introduce myself and say hi." That was it. A few months later, he gets a call from this person who says, "I'm thinking about listing my home." Well, great. Let's meet. And this was the $14 million home. And she said, "I wanted to let you know that I chose you because you didn't push anything on me. You were just friendly. And I thought you were probably a trustworthy person."
Yeah, it's a great testament to authenticity.
Yes.
One of the limiting beliefs I hear a lot in real estate brokers that want to be real estate brokers is that I'm not a good salesman. And I'm like, well, that's good, because we don't need those people.
Right on.
I mean, sales that went out with the Lee Iacocca, right, and Chrysler back in the day. I just think, being yourself is such a valuable commodity because it's so rare.
Yeah.
In the days of the metaverse, whatever that cartoon's going to look like, where people or social media where you can pretend to be anybody you want to be. It's like the authenticity and the willingness to be vulnerable about your own authenticity is rare. And I said, it's kind of to me like marketing, right? I call it retro marketing. Like when you actually write a note and mail it to somebody or put it on their car or a handwritten anything, that's so old school. Well, it's working because nobody's doing it.
Yes, exactly.
Right. It's the authenticity, the time, the commitment that it took to do that, where it's a lost art.
Yeah, it's more valuable now, right?
It's way more valuable. The retro marketing concept of direct mail pieces and handwritten notes is underutilized at the highest level. It's hard to scale it, people think, but really in real estate, like you said, you get a listing and sell it. The average home in Wenatchee is about $400,000 or so now. I mean, it's $12,000 commission. At our company, you'll make 70% of that until you hit that 30% adds up to $17,000, and then you'll make 100% of it. So it doesn't take many listings.
Exactly.
Do one a month compared to the average salary of many people.
Yes.
When the hamburger prices are going up, fuel's going up, everything seems to be going up except my paycheck. Well, that's why there's a free real estate school and it's not free. We invest in it, right? We invest in it, but luckily with Keller Williams, we're a worldwide company. So we have the economies of scale to be able to do that, where I can afford it as the operating partner here, and then everybody else can benefit it. So
it's a brilliant model.
Yeah, and then it's not just stops there. Then we have productivity coaching, and then we have internal teams and lead generation and transaction coordinating and data entry, and we're starting to give people a lot of choices, so you can be as dependent as you want on the system, or that we're providing a lot of things for you, or everything except the actual go out there and show houses and sell them, or you can be as independent as you want. Brand yourself, have your own team, have your own location. And that flexibility among personalities is great because it's often a progression. And I know this about leaders. If you don't give people the opportunity to grow, they either will stagnate or they will leave. So you always have to provide opportunities for growth.
Yeah.
And that's where the selflessness comes in, and the transparency of our business using the R&D concept, which in most businesses stands for research and development. In our business, it stands for rip off and duplicate. And that's with the Keller Williams people, right? So there's no I haven't met one Keller Williams broker in any state, and I've been to many conferences now, going to one, Orlando, where 25,000 people. And I have not had one experience where I've asked for, hey, how did you do that? And they just stop. And they go, here's how.
Yeah.
That abundant mindset where like they're not threatened by me.
Right.
You know, and that's the funny thing. The most successful real estate brokers are not threatened by anybody.
Because they know there's a lot to go around. There's enough there really is enough to go around.
Yeah. When people say there's too many salespeople, you're right. There's too many salespeople. There are not too many good realtors. Those are very different things.
Yep.
You know, I think that abundant mindset, especially when you have such a demographic shift. I told somebody the other day that the west to the east, meaning good, bad, or indifferent, the reality is people can work from home and they are choosing to work in the sunshine compared to Puget Sound. There's a percentage of them, they're coming. And unless there's no way to stop that. So if you want to get on that train a little bit and profit from it, we're showing you how to do it without a lot of capital. All you have to do is just bring an open mind, and then we're going to get to work assassinating limiting beliefs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's it. I mean, if people just, I have them. I have all kinds of limiting beliefs.
So do I. Still do.
I have all, the more I know, the more I don't know. That's all I know for sure. The definition of mastery to me just means what I saw the other day, a beginner that just keeps on beginning.
Yeah.
It's just like the knowledge of abundance and mindset being such a new role is fascinating to me, that it's been a business for so long, an industry for so long, and it's just now starting to catch on.
Yeah. I love what you just said, that you brought up mastery. For me, I love that beginner's mind. And for me, mastery is just consistently releasing resistance, right?
Right.
And so that really is just like noticing what works, and noticing is my thinking in alignment with my outcome? Because if it's not, then that's resistance. So the master is always looking to release resistance, diminish the resistance, and get into flow.
Yeah, I used to think that before I started doing yoga and meditating and journaling, and I can always do more of all of those things. I always thought it was mumbo jumbo. Like, this is Zen stuff. I mean, whatever. I'm a cowboy kind of guy. And then you do it and you're like, wait a minute, it all works together.
Yes.
And you're not going to necessarily see it immediately, just like working out. I mean, how often do you say, I'm going to go get in shape, and you're about 45 years old and you haven't been to the gym in 20 years, and you go to the gym in the next 3 weeks, you can't walk because you thought you were 18.
Right.
Well, you have to work your way into it a little bit. But once you have that open mind that you show up, to your point, what we try to do is surround ourselves with the right training and the right mindset so you can feed off of it. So if you're feeling doubt, if you're feeling, like I'm nervous about something or insecure, that's a good place to start. Come here, because the people around here felt the same way. Mm-hmm. And now I can show you what they're doing differently, and it doesn't take very long.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, so it's kind of exciting. So how do people get a hold of you to talk?
Yeah, FletcherEllingson.com. Look me up there. So got some cool resources there, or call me 509-679-0927.
Well, thanks a million, buddy. Hey, we'll be right back with Sharon Crockett, learn about finance. It's crazy.
Keller Williams, you make dreams come true.
Hey, this is Russ McClellan, operating partner and designated broker of Keller Williams Realty, North Central Washington. Hey, I'm excited to say we are growing at an unprecedented rate. We're almost 70 real estate brokers and popping about 3 deals a day in some cases. It's really pretty fun. And the reason I wanted to do an ad today was about our people. The culture of Keller Williams is really simple this. We believe in an abundant mindset, not a scarcity mindset. What does that mean? Well, although we're competitive, we all go out and try to get some similar listings. And with almost 70 people, you might think that that's a problem. But in reality, with an abundant mindset, we know that for us to win, you don't have to lose. With our creative marketing that is unbelievable, with our operating system Command, we're reaching literally hundreds of thousands of people instantly. So if you're interested in selling or buying with one of our agents, trust me, you won't be disappointed. Give us a call at our office, 509-888-0038, or email me direct at russ@frontlinechelan.com. Hi, this is Russ McClellan with Keller Williams Realty, North Central Washington. Hey, I have an exciting opportunity that I want to share. Keller Williams is partnered with the largest real estate school in the country, and we are now offering free real estate training. That includes not just the 90 hours that you need for pre-licensing requirements by the state of Washington, but real-life practical experience as well. Give us a call at 509-888-0038 or email us at joinus@kwncw.com.
You're listening to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. And here's Russ.
Hey, welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. That was awesome stuff. My man Fletcher Ellingson, the Mindset Ninja. Right now I got Sharon Crockett. Hi, Sharon.
Hello, how's it going?
Good. Sharon's with PrimeLending. Sharon Crockett and Michael Maher and team. And there's a lot of things popping in the game of finance. So I thought maybe I'd just ask you, like, what are you seeing? What are you trying to get across in today's world? Because it seems like we're getting all kinds of info. We just don't know which is the right info.
Yes, very, very true. Lots of questions, lots of assumptions, all sorts of things flying around out there. And in a changing environment, finances, inflation, interest rates, people are all over the board and wondering what to do. And it's affecting, the decisions they're making as far as waiting to sell, waiting to buy. All those kinds of things are conversations we're having right now.
I'm afraid, and tell me if you think I'm crazy, but I'm afraid that it could be a perfect storm in a bad way if people wait. I definitely understand why you want to wait, because you haven't found the right place, or maybe you're hoping prices are going to soften. But all of a sudden, what if we wait 6 to 9 months and now the interest rates are higher, which is, like you mentioned, one way that the Federal Reserve usually counteracts inflation is raising rates to slow the economy, et cetera. But what if you have higher rates and higher prices? That's not good.
Exactly. That's exactly what's happening. People are, pausing their decisions based on thinking exactly that. Are prices going to come down? And, things going to soften. Maybe I'll get a better deal. Maybe I'll save more and put more down. In fact, just today we did a cost of waiting analysis on a client of ours, an engineer who is thinking about buying a home. Went over the payments with him, went over the price and the details. And at the end, he said these exact words. He said, I think I'm going to wait to save more, to put a little bit more down so that my payment will be lower. And so what we did was we showed him payments and prices and rates now in February. We showed them a projection of what June might look like as far as a slightly higher price and definitely a higher rate. And then December, slightly higher than that and a little bit more on the rate, and putting more down. We put it from 10% down to 15% down in December. And even with more down, the rate and the price made his payment about $150 to $200 more a month. Even with putting more down than he would, now he's thinking 10% down, but 15% down was what he was thinking he might save for. And yeah, the payments are still going to be higher. So the moral of the story is don't wait, because you might be looking back. And, as long as there's a demand to live here, and inventory is not keeping up with that demand, then prices are not going to go down.
Yeah, Econ 101, supply and demand.
Yep.
And supply constraints are real. Just for people that don't know, there's a couple right off the bat. Well, we have these things called mountains. We can't build straight on till morning. We run into a mountain. So the available land is an issue. We have topography is there. We have infrastructure, government regulations, zoning. These are all basic problems that can't be changed immediately. So if you have more and more people coming and not enough real estate, that we're down a lot as a percentage of a year ago in inventory. I agree with you. I think prices are going to keep going up. And the other thing is the average income isn't the average income anymore. what we're seeing is people are being able to work from home, and they have a W-2 from the west side of the mountains, even though they're now living on the east side of the mountains. So they're willing to pay more money than they have ever paid. So I had it happen this morning where someone said, hey, they're saving $5,000 a month, and they want to wait till the end of the year. And I said, well, that's great, unless rates go to 4 or 5. Then what? And then that's the point, right? So let's talk about what you guys do. You said a cost of waiting and analysis. Could you explain what that is?
Yeah, it's a really awesome presentation that we do for clients that is a spreadsheet, but a very user-friendly, easy to understand format where they can interact with the program itself and click around inside the presentation. It's an electronic presentation that we email clients, and we can customize it for any price point, any down payment, any program, any interest rate, and show them 2 or 3 options of what it would look like if they waited. And also just in general, comparing loan options from FHA to conventional, or maybe 3% versus 5% versus 10% down. So it's really about educating our clients. And anymore, I mean, you know this, Russ, because you guys share this same philosophy at Keller Williams at your office there. And it really takes more of an advisory role. You know, it's not just about getting people pre-approved or taking them out and opening up the door to show them a house, but it's coming alongside them and advising them on the conditions of the market, the different programs, why we do things the way we do, listening to people and answering their questions.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, to your point, it's about working together. You know, I tell the brokers at Keller Williams that we quarterback transactions, and we have allied forces in the program. And so some of the creativeness that we can do on deal structuring, we would then, for example, lean into your enhancement loan. And for people that are struggling to find that house in their price point, to me, that's one method of creativity that really, if I asked one of our coaching moments today, we had about 15, 20 people here. And I said, how many people do you think across all realtors know about the 18 enhancement loans of PrimeLending? And the consensus was they felt maybe 5% of the realtors knew that loan. At least how to articulate it. And what I tell people is, hey, look, let's go find you the ugly duckling. That takes imagination, takes work to get it to be the home you want. But that's so much better with your program to be able to add a bedroom, add a bathroom, change a kitchen, add a garage, you name it, than it is to go necessarily compete with retail, meaning everything is perfect. Because that's where the bulk of the buyers are going. So all of a sudden you can get instant equity even in a seller's market. I mean, let me say that again. You can get instant equity even in a seller's market if you're willing to work with the right people with a plan, and then they work together like the realtor and the lender. So yeah, I appreciate it. You know, my son did it, right? So it's like when he's done, he's going to have a lot of equity.
Yeah, absolutely. And it takes that extra step of explaining, you know, those loans are not, you know, we do a lot of them, so we're blessed to be experienced in facilitating those. But if people don't do those a lot, or and they're not, it's kind of like a foreign language. So, you know, it really just is taking that extra step to explain the steps involved and cover the expectations, and also really encourage people, because people can be intimidated by just the thought or the mention of a rehab or enhancement loan. It's foreign to people. They don't hear it all the time. It's not always talked about, like you said. So it takes time for us to be able to go into that and be encouraging at the same time.
Yeah, and that's what's good about what you guys do. You do come alongside people confidentially and kind of start with the end in mind, reverse engineer it to a plan, and then work with the people in the industry that work closely together to help that plan become a reality. And it's kind of a lost art. I mean, I don't know how exactly how many years I've been in this business, but a long time, I mean, 30 or so. And it's
something like that. I know.
And it's still funny how many myths, like lending myths, are out there. Like, I need 20% to buy a house, or, I mean, I still hear them, and I still hear people, even in the industry, our industry as realtors and in lending, giving bad advice. And I'm always encouraging people, hey, get a second opinion, get a third opinion, you know. try to get some referrals, because there's some bad actors, unfortunately, out there, and it's true in every industry. So just,
It's true.
yeah, I mean, I can tell you that there's a way to do most things. It might take some time and some planning, like you said, Sharon, but that's the cool thing about the partnership that we have and relationship of being able to trust the people we refer our buyers to, and vice versa, is that you're coming from integrity at PrimeLending, and that says a lot to me.
Yeah, well, we love our clients, we love our job, and it's not an easy job. Lending in real estate, it's not as easy. I don't know if it's ever been easy, but it's definitely harder than it's ever been. So you really need someone that's going to do that, to go the extra mile and walk alongside you.
Yeah. So when people, what's right now, would you recommend people to lock, if you get an approval and you find a home, at what point do you typically recommend they lock their interest rate? And basically explain what that means to people.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we at PrimeLending have a very unique product called our float down. So we lock every client because we have the option of floating them down. If rates do take the direction of coming back down, we can float them down for free to the next lowest rate. But if they're locked, then they're also protected from them going up. So we pick the number of days that we need. If the closing is a 30-day closing, then we can lock them in for 30 days, but we can also lock up to 240 days if we need to. So we have all different kinds of options for people to protect their interest rate.
Great. We have about a minute left. Is there anything that you'd like to share? Any more thoughts about that? Because it's probably going up, right? I mean, interest rates are probably going up, so timing might be important.
It definitely has already gone up. We're headed towards fours, the fours, even the low fours, and different products depending on your, particular situation. So definitely get a hold of us at yourstorybeginshere.net or 425-327-1451. You can get a hold of myself or our team members, and we'll take good care of you, get a pre-approval, and get your rate locked in.
All right. Thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate everybody.
You.
Yeah, you bet. Hope everybody has a great day. Get outside, spend some time getting some fresh air. Winter's almost behind us. Let's have some fun, connect. Give us a call anytime you want. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you very, very much.
It's a bright new day, just came my way. I bought a new home, yeah, home, sweet home, oh, home, sweet home. Keller Williams, I love my dream home. Yeah, I love my dream home. Home, sweet home.